Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode. We're going to be talking about pineapples and why you shouldn't trust them. I am of course joking. We are not going to be talking about pineapples. We are talking about analog stabilizers and if that type of system is the right thing for you to purchase. The reason why I'm making this video is A, to get off my ass. I need to start creating more content. I've been very lazy in this side of the field. Keep saying I'm going to do it, but it never materializes. And I thought this was a great way to start doing this by showing you exactly what the real world expectations are of purchasing such a system as an analog stabilizer and the real world results you're going to get. All the footage I'm going to be showing you today is shot at 24 frames per second. There's going to be no stabilization, there's no post stabilization, no higher frame rate. It's all going to be done as is. So that's one thing I want to make clear, so that you as the viewer can actually see what is going to happen if you accidentally knock it, what happens when you walk crap, the weight of the camera, the making sure of the balance, are the horizons straight, because when everything is slowed down you can get away with a lot of stuff, but with this I wanted to show new people that are new to these things exactly the amount of work that's involved and the footage that you're gonna get in the first couple of weeks of using these things. When people say you need to practice, you cannot be underestimate this at all. I certainly did. I thought that I knew the ninja walk and that it would be easier than it was, and it's bloody hard. These things are not easy to use, so let's get that over straight away. It is bloody hard to use. Everything you do has a direct effect on, sorry, I was just kicking the cat away gently. Everything you do has a direct effect on how the camera operates. So if you're heavy-handed, your footage is going to look rubbish. If you're walking and you're not doing it softly, it's going to look rubbish. If the balance is off, guess what, it's going to look rubbish. So Sean Connery. So there's a lot of work that needs to be put in place for these things. So if you don't have the time to invest in using one of these things, then I'd highly recommend you perhaps go with a motorized I did it again, stabilizer. Go with a motorized stabilizer because they are more forgiving. You still have to walk very softly, you still have to have a lot of control of those things, but the start and off point is nowhere near as steep, whereas with this everything you do has a direct effect. So one of the things that you're going to be very, very mindful of is that when you're holding it, it's just with one hand. So one hand has to be very firm but fluid so that you can hold it and keep the weight. It also has to be a certain distance from your body because the plate at the bottom will snag, or you can kick it, or can hit a pole as you go in past something. So you have to be very, very mindful of the location of where that is in relation to you and your body or other objects. The hand that does all the turning, that has to be very, very fine touching, and that is something that's going to take me a long time, especially when you're walking and he's going down some steps and then he's turning left and then he's going up. So I'm trying to follow him, so I'm keeping the forward motion and I'm slowly turning the camera, but I'm not tactile enough, and the camera's it looks like it's heavy-handed, so there's a lot of finesse that comes with using this. But before you even get there, you've got to balance this thing, and that can take a while. I think everybody says it takes like 15 minutes. It doesn't. It's going to take you longer. I spent over half hour to an hour, and I'm still messing with it. Not because it's not okay, but you can see that it's just a little off, and that makes a big difference to the horizon and how it operates. Because if it's off by anything, that means you've got to hold it a bit more with the control in hand, and then you have to have a lot more finesse in controlling it. So you need to take into consideration a lot of things with this thing. And I'm finding with the FlyCam 3000 there are 8 points of contact where you can adjust to move the base forward, backwards, left to right, and you've only got to move it like a millimeter to get things straight, or you have to do it a few millimeters. The problem I'm finding with this is that you've got to be very, very gentle when you're pushing it, because if you push it too hard, it goes too far one direction, and the same the other way. So you have to be very patient when you're setting these things up. Aside from that, once you've got it the way you want it and you're happy, I'm actually really happy with the footage that is coming out. So what you're seeing at the moment is me practicing with my son, and we are not on flat terrain. You know, there's quite a bit that's up and down, which is not ideal. I shouldn't be practicing, but when you've got kids, they're the best things to chase around. Especially at one time where he decided that he needed to have a poo.
I need a taller one. We need a taller one.
You need the toilet?
Yeah.
Okay.
We go about that.
We'll have a look to see how our speed test goes.
So that was fun. So that was a good speed test to see how quick we could get back to the house before there was an accident.
Ready? We're going to walk as fast as we can. Go! I'm going to try and keep it down. See how this goes. Oh, this is going to be rubbish, but... Come on! Let's go. You need the toilet, quick. They're beating me. Nothing like a toilet run to practice the GlideCam. We've got to remember this guy because he went under.
We didn't get back to the house in time. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that before you purchase one of these things, be very, very mindful that everything you do to this has a direct effect on how it operates. So you have to spend a lot more time practicing getting this to look spot on. I myself, I'm crap with this, but I'm getting there. I've done one video that was with the family, and I did use slow motion for this because I wanted the day to be nice and I didn't want to get back and be gutted. That hid a lot of mistakes that I made on the day. I made a lot of mistakes. Some of the footage that I had to get rid of was phenomenal. So bear in mind, you need to practice, because I want to practice with this and get really good so I can shoot in the 24 frames per second and not worry. Because one of the things that I'm finding with the content that I'm creating is that there are dialogue parts with my family, or they're going to be with clients, because I'm setting up my business, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted this, because I don't want any more batteries. I just want to pick this up after it's all balanced and be proficient and get the shot done. I can set it to one side and not have to worry about it charging up, feeding it, whether it's okay, if its personal feelings are okay. I don't have to worry about that. Once it's balanced, I'm good to go. So that is a bonus with one of these things, because there's nothing worse with having loads of gear and then you just got to charge shit. And I can't stand charging batteries, but that is the caveat of doing this profession is that everything's got batteries, apart from this, which is perfect. So yeah, I'm not going to be going through how to set this up today. That will come in another video, but for today's purposes, just wanted to show you, as a beginner, when you get this, what am I going to be getting out of the camera when I use this? What's the footage going to be like? Am I going to be happy? How much practice? And you are going to have a lot of practice. Just walking in a straight line, you can see the sway, and it is weird because you think, I've been walking for nearly 40 years, I know how to walk. No, you don't know. No, you don't. Jack shit. Because when you got one of these things in your hand and you're looking through the viewfinder and you're trying to keep everything in frame and you can see the horizon, you realize just how much body movement you've got, and it's like being on a ship. And there were times that I'm walking, I'm thinking, this is hard, like hard, really hard, because you want to get to a point where it looks like it's floating. And all the tutorials online and the footage that you see of people that are doing this, and they've been doing this a while, and they make it look effortless. There's a lot of skill that goes into that, and it can't be underappreciated, the stuff that they're showing, because I have a newfound respect for anybody who uses these on a professional level and they can make it look as if it's just floating and everything is panning and in focus, because it is hard. So I'm going to leave it here for today. I hope that this is going to be beneficial to you, and I hope that the footage will give you an expectation of what it is you're going to get out of the box, and after you've set it up and you're using it for the first time, stick with it, and hopefully in future videos I will carry on showing you exactly what we can achieve with these things. So see you soon.